Knock knock. Who's there? The guy who just lied his way to $1 million and made it look like the greatest Survivor masterclass we've seen in years. Buckle in, because Survivor 48 just wrapped with a finale that flipped the script on loyalty, set fire to integrity, and crowned Kyle Fraser the nice guy who fooled everyone as sole survivor. And no, I'm not exaggerating. Kyle didn't just win, he outwitted, outplayed, and outschemed with a grin so charming it disarmed the jury before they even knew what hit him. The man took every lesson from Ghost Island, buried honor beside Eric's necklace, and campaigned with a lie so bold the jury clapped. That's not a win, that's a heist. But here's the real plot twist: if Kamilla had made the final three, she wins. Confirmed by the jury. That's right, she was one challenge away from flipping the entire game. And yet, Kyle made the power move of the season, taking Joe to the end and forcing Kamilla and Eva into the most emotionally raw fire-making showdown we've seen in years. Now hang on, because we're about to unpack everything from the final tribal fireworks to the last torch snuffed to the broken promises, cracked alliances, emotional meltdowns, and some of the most human Survivor moments you'll ever witness on TV. Let's get real for a sec. Survivor 48 delivered. And it wasn't just about strategy. This finale had soul. Let's start with the man of the hour, Kyle Fraser. A smiling assassin who was so convincing, not even his own pre-game interview gave away the killer instinct beneath that easygoing vibe. He walked into Fiji with a handshake and walked out with $1 million check. His resume? Blindsiding Thomas, David, and Shahan with surgical precision and, oh yeah, manipulating both Joe and Eva in real time during the final tribal. And let's not gloss over that final immunity win. He knew Joe and Eva were the ones nobody wanted to sit next to at the end, and instead of playing it safe, he took them head on. Kyle didn't flinch, didn't stall, just walked straight into the fire metaphorically and literally and played one of the gutsiest endgames we've seen since Tony Vlachis broke Survivor math. But it wasn't a solo show. Eva and Joe were forces in their own right. All three finalists brought fire to that final tribal, not just sparks, but full-blown fireworks. Joe, the fireman with the heart of gold, made a compelling plea. 9 months post-reconstructive surgery, and this man was out there stacking challenge wins like pancakes. He reminded us that blue-collar grit still has a place in this game, especially when you can deliver lines like, "I'm just a dumb fireman." Still, that humility, it hits. His final words? "I spend my life taking care of people. For once, I want to take care of my kids." You could feel that. Real talk. Raw. But Eva? She took us somewhere deeper. She played with transparency, loyalty, and straight-up guts. That speech about representing the season as someone totally unprecedented, it was powerful. "I carried more wood than anyone ever has on Survivor. I made Jeff cry." Humor, heart, authenticity. And let's talk about that fire-making scene. Eva lost it and found herself again, screaming in frustration, shaking in exhaustion, breaking down under the pressure. And who was there to help her? Joe, the guy she was competing against. When he offered to take her spot, it wasn't just gameplay. It was Survivor humanity at its finest. And when she said no, when she insisted on doing it herself, she earned her place in that final three, not with strategy, but with strength. Real, emotional, I'm not a victim strength. And the fire challenge? Kamilla couldn't get a spark. Eva, through tears, built a fire so fierce it nearly scorched the set, then watched it die in the wind, only to relight it again and finish the job. That's grit. That's legacy. Now, Kamilla. Phew. If there's one what could have been story of the season, it's hers. A brilliant mind. Socially strategic. She won Final 5 immunity. She dominated the puzzle. But she told Kyle she'd take a shot at him too early. And he took that info straight to the final decision board. Result? Fire making against Eva, and out she went. But here's the kicker: had she made it to Final 3, the jury would have handed her the win. Easily. That's the game in a single sentence. One wrong word, one missed moment, and your $1 million walks into someone else's hands. Mitch, our mailman with punchlines, delivered laughs and emotion all season. His exit was like a slow funeral march. Everyone knew. Everyone said it. But it gave us time to appreciate his arc. The guy who played it straight but misread the threat level of people like Mary. No wild twists. No fake idol plays. Just honesty and the door. And finally, let's talk about what made this finale special. It wasn't just Kyle's gameplay, or Eva's fight, or Joe's grace. It was the way this final four held space for each other, encouraged each other, lifted each other even as they tried to win over them. It was about the players being more than players being people. Survivor 48 didn't just crown a winner. It told a story of resilience, intelligence, and raw emotion. A game where deception wins but compassion doesn't lose. Kyle took the $1 million. Kamilla almost had it. Eva made us cry. Joe made us believe. And Mitch? He reminded us that every story matters, even if it doesn't end with a torch still burning. And as Jeff snuffed the final flame and raised the champagne, we got one last surprise. The Survivor 50 teaser was missing. No sneak peek, no cast drop, just a whole fandom left screaming, "Where's the 50 reveal?" But maybe that's fitting, because after this kind of finale, maybe we just need a moment, a beat, a breath to remember what Survivor is at its best. Raw, real, and unforgettable. Love you, gang.